Man, I had to tap in because this T.I. and 50 Cent situation just flared up again after simmering for weeks. Things escalated even more after that $1 million worth of game interview with Gillie the Kid and Wallo 267. They got to talking about verses, and once 50 posted Tiny on his page, it jumped to a different level. Tip made it clear he was ready to take it all the way there. Then his son King stepped in and pushed it even further. That same night, T.I. hit Instagram with a snippet of War, sitting with his family in the clip and throwing subliminals by kissing his mother. He captioned it, "My biggest flex is being able to protect my mama till I can provide her a better life. Happy birthday, mama, your turn." After that, he dropped another full diss titled "You Got the Right One." And on this one, he's not easing up at all. He's going straight for the jugular. I'm about to run through some of these bars because at this point, nobody knows where this is headed, especially when it comes to 50. I don't see 50 jumping in the booth right now. It feels like he's studying the temperature, gathering feedback from fans, trying to decide his next chess move. Meanwhile, T.I. is clearly saying, forget all that, I'm rapping. He opens up, basically calling 50 a small man hiding in a big image, questioning who he really is versus who he avoids. He throws a line about legacy, suggesting 50 won't even stand up for his own. Then he doubles down, warning this won't go the way 50 expects. He keeps pressing, saying you're not the only one who had accolades before a deal, and hinting at industry favors. He questions his talent, his appeal, even his motion in the streets. Then he brings up that so-called DMX package, implying the industry handed him a blueprint. He flat out says you're not that savage. He references old tension tied to Puff and mocks the tough guy persona. He makes it clear that if it's drama 50 wants, it's not slander, it's smoke. Says once it's up, it's stuck, no truces. Then he attacks the money talk, basically saying you're not as rich or as real as you act, flexing around white execs. And he closes that stretch by calling him out directly, saying you're not a gangster, you just prey on the weak. Listen, this is getting personal. All he really does is talk slick and pray it stays online, playing detective, pointing fingers, acting like he's solving crimes while grown men out here making memes. That's a strange flex. Kicking people when they're already down, that's sucker behavior, plain and simple. I hate even letting this mess interrupt my day, but once you start mentioning my wife, now it's different. You always got smoke for women, which might explain why you can't seem to keep one. Hard to love somebody when you never felt it from your own mother. And now you'd rather bring up fires and scandals with kids involved? Yeah, that's where you want to go? I've seen paperwork floating from inside prison walls with your name tied to it. You're playing journalist like Peter Parker, but saying you're spreading venom. Well, maybe that venom just doesn't land on people built solid. I'm curious if the folks in New York City are really riding with you like that. This is your king? Because from the start, he's taking losses. Murder Inc. had him dodging bullets metaphorically and literally. Cameron embarrassed him on the radio. Took hits from Rick Ross and Fat Joe too. And don't forget when Jadakiss got at him, had people thinking the tough talk wasn't so tough. Even Kanye West stood his ground and handed him that first week L. That's the pattern. Too much talking, not enough backing it up. And Shody, what do you think happens when you bring that energy over here with me? That's why Tip says you picked the right one this time. And with King jumping on records too, of course it sounds sharper when you hear the actual flow instead of just reading bars. I just wanted to highlight the lyrics because how often do we see T.I. step in the booth and aim directly at 50 Cent after all this tension building? We already saw sparks fly during the verses talk and everything that followed, and King clearly isn't easing up. He feels like if you come for his mom, he's going all the way there. You can't dictate how somebody reacts when family gets pulled in. Personally, I still don't see 50 jumping in the booth. If he answers, it'll probably be through trolling, humiliation tactics, and meme warfare. That's been his playbook. And now we're at that crossroads. People are gonna choose sides. That's just how these moments go. I can't tell anyone who to support. That's on you. But from watching how this industry works, the crowd usually leans towards whoever's delivering music people actually like. Trolling might win headlines, but records win perception. We've seen it before. You can clown, you can disrespect, you can avoid rapping and still feel like you're winning privately. But in the public eye, if T.I. keeps dropping music and people rocking with it, that narrative starts shifting. Because once you push things to the highest level of disrespect, you can't be surprised when somebody decides to take it all the way there. He felt disrespected, so he said, cool, I'm taking it even further, and that's his decision. But if you're really going at 50 Cent, every single time he posts or trolls, you've got to answer with bars. That means getting in the booth, dropping freestyles, and staying active on wax. Because the people are going to look at it like, okay, one is rapping, the other is just playing on the internet. Music is how you control the narrative. That's what hip-hop introduced us to in the first place. We've seen over and over again that once lyrics enter the chat, attention shifts to the bars. And when it gets to that level, pen game matters. That's the DNA of hip-hop. Bars override memes, especially when you're somebody with a respected era and a loyal following. 50 has a core fan base that's gonna ride no matter what. So does T.I. And when both sides have that kind of backing, it really comes down to who's gonna rap. Let's keep it real. I'm not saying 50's about to do anything foul, but if Tip keeps calling him out directly on records, eventually the audience starts saying, all right, we respect that. He's outside with it. Now, as far as King being involved, listen, King is going crazy. Low-key, he might be applying more pressure than